Hey there, PCOS TTC moms, and welcome to the Becoming Moms Method. This is Dr. Tian Pramlab. I'm a mom of one, fertility coach, pharmacist, and someone who's been there in the trenches of PCOS infertility myself. Like the trailer has mentioned, I spent over 2 years trying to conceive with insulin resistance and PCOS. And I know how exhausting it is to feel like you're doing everything right, tracking, testing everything, tweaking your diet and lifestyle, over exercising, yet still wondering when it will finally be your turn. That's why this podcast exists. Here, I want to give you a breakdown of all of my tips and strategies. They're science-backed, realistic strategies to help get your ovulation back, balance your hormones, optimize your egg quality, and help you move closer to meeting your baby. So if you're ready for my expert guidance, real talk, and a little bit of humor along the way, hit that follow button and let's dive in.
I know I did not put out any episode in, was it March? We're in April now. So this month, my goal is to give you actually 4 episodes instead of normally 2 episodes. So anyways, this week I want to talk about what I kind of just have to do in the past couple months because I've been traveling. That's why getting these episodes out are so difficult sometimes, but I'm trying my best. Anyways, so yeah, I kind of want to talk about how I've been able to support my PCOS. And for you guys, it would be PCOS and fertility while you're really busy. Either it's traveling or work, just really busy season is what we're talking about. And then I'll also share a little bit about this new masterclass that I'm running. It's going to be live next week. So if you're listening around this time, which is going to be around April 2025, or holding the masterclass on April 9th, which is for me next Wednesday. And it's free, it's live. The link to sign up is going to be in the episode note. We're going to be talking about why am I not ovulating. But today's episode, I want to kind of talk about how to help you stay on track without really adding more stress, right? When life gets busy, when you're traveling, when work is chaotic, when things just feel out of control. And we'll talk about what I normally do, what you can let go of, what actually matters, and how to keep your hormones happy even when life is unpredictable, right? Because that's basically what infertility is, and a lot of the time PCOS too. While you're trying to conceive, you can't really control everything that happens around you, even though you really, really want to. So that's why we're talking about this today. Plus, I just got back from a few days in Cabo, and then a couple months before that, I was in Texas visiting my parents. So a lot has happened, and I want to make sure that we talk about this and how I'm able to still have my cycle. Yeah, I just finished another cycle, and it's the shortest one I've had to date. So all right. So yeah, so travel used to, actually they still do really. It takes me a little bit of time to kind of get back into routine, right? And it's harder to maintain habits and support everything that you really want. I tend to skip my workout a lot of the time. I don't really sleep as well, especially now I travel with a toddler. But regardless, travel seems to be adding some stress. Like people post on social media that travel seems to be really fun, right, and exciting. But for me, it is fun and exciting, but it's also stressful because of my condition. And I love my morning routine, and I just haven't really gotten back to it. So we'll talk about that. Okay, so we'll talk about how I realized that I don't need everything to go perfectly anymore. I just need to focus on consistency and the things that have the biggest impact. because a lot of time fertility isn't about perfection. I mean, I've learned to let go of control because you can't really, well, you'd like to keep tab on everything and feel like you're in control, but in reality, you really can't. And these little routines that I've been accustomed to these past few years has really given me back that control. And when things get busy and hectic, everything goes out the window. Okay. So let's prioritize what is really going to have the biggest impact when things are a bit busier. So for me, even on vacation, I really want to prioritize nutrition. And don't get me wrong, I do eat pretty much everything when I'm on vacation. Uh, and it doesn't mean that I throw my, PCOS or fertility diet out of the window. I still make sure that I get plenty of fiber and green vegetables. I don't want to neglect that. A lot of time it's hard when things get busy, but when I tell my clients to eat for ovulation and fertility and PCOS, I encourage them to have their green vegetables first. You'll still get your protein, right? A lot of people focus on protein, which is important. We want to get the best kind of protein for you, not the processed stuff, right? So things like nutritious, healthy smoothie that has plant-based protein powder are my favorite. Those are really fast to make, right? And they have fruits already in there, so lots of fibers. And if you're busy, make sure you have a tons of fruits and berries as snacks when you're in a rush. So that's something that I would prioritize for sure. And I love eating protein without really eating protein, which means you're not touching the animal protein a lot of the time, because plant-based protein increases your chance of fertility by like 80%. So I
During this quick interruption, but I have something I know you're going to love. If you've been feeling frustrated, lost, or just plain exhausted from trying to figure out how to regulate your cycle if you have irregular ovulation with PCOS and have to optimize your egg quality on your own, I've got you. I have a free masterclasses called Bun and Oven where I walk you through exactly how to regulate your cycle so you know exactly when you're ovulating, boost your fertility without any crazy restriction or cutting out all of your favorite foods, take simple science-backed steps that actually move you closer to meeting your baby. So who is this masterclass for? So if you have PCOS or other metabolic syndrome, pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes, or maybe you're struggling with insulin resistant, then you come to the right place. And if you've been trying to conceive for a while now, or maybe you're just starting out and you don't know exactly what you need to do in order to get pregnant, this free masterclass is also for you. So in this class, we're also going to be talking about how I got pregnant naturally without taking any medication or supplement, even though I'm a pharmacist. And I'll show you how I did that. Right? I spent over 2 years trying to conceive, and I'll be able to go in depth a little bit more on the little mistakes I made along the way and what to do instead and how to avoid what I did to help you conceive a lot sooner than I did, right? I don't want you to have to spend 2 years trying to figure this out on your own. If you can take a shortcut, why not? This entire masterclass is about less than an hour long. I also will show you the method that I teach my clients now that helped them fall pregnant within 6 months, and one mama even got twins. So we'll go over how I regulate my cycle. It's normally really spaced out. every 6 months or so, I would have a cycle, maybe once or twice a year. But after learning what I will show you in this masterclass, it was coming every single month right on the dot, every 28 days, which is kind of insane, right? That is exactly what you'll get in this powerful training. So my proven method that allowed me to regulate my cycle from over 108 days long to a 30 days consistent cycle, and how I improved my insulin resistance by lowering my A1C from 5.7, which is the pre-diabetes range, to 5.4, which is the normal range, in only 6 weeks. And I continue to keep it down even now, 2 years postpartum. And finally, all the common mistakes that I made, but once avoided, I was able to fall pregnant naturally without any medication or supplement. And this entire training is completely free, and you can grab it right now at this link, bit.ly/meetmybaby. So bit.ly/meetmybaby. All right, so let's go back to today's episode.
I also got sick after traveling. Another thing why traveling is stressful for me. So I don't know if you noticed, my voice is a little bit raspy because I have congestions and this cough. Anyway, so yes, leaner protein, plant-based protein, things like fish, tofu, beans, or really lean chicken. Those are what I would eat next. Well, actually, no, that would be the third thing. The next thing I would prioritize is again the fiber, which are whole grains. It's harder to get whole grains while you're traveling, but this is also for when you're super busy. Make sure that you have either quinoa, brown rice. You can even mix these in with white rice if you're still are transitioning away from more simple carbohydrates as well. So, okay, so let's recap nutrition, right? Fibers and protein, but the good kinds of proteins. Those are the important stuff. And then the whole grains, that's another thing that I would prioritize when you're super busy. And then hydration is another thing that we want to prioritize. Carry a water bottle with you and refill it, drink that like it's your religion, okay? And movement is another thing that's important. I try to fit in, when I was in Cabo, I walked on the beach for a little bit, maybe just 5-10 minutes. It doesn't even have to be long because, time is as the essence here. And then I spent a little bit at the gym. They had a fitness center there just while my dad was watching my toddler. So kind of just prioritize these things and put it at the forefront of your mind. That way, it's just like waking up and brushing your teeth, and you either you're whether or not you're traveling or you're super busy, work is hectic, you're still going to brush your teeth. Okay, so that's the kind of thing that I want you to kind of think of when you're prioritizing PCOS and fertility. So just making sure that you aren't neglecting these things. And also sleep is super important. I know it's hard to get good sleep when things are busy, but sleep hygiene, that's I've always had like a sleep routine. So as much as possible, keep to your sleep routine if you have one. If not, I would discuss this in another episode. Although previous season I talked to one of another coaches and we talked extensively about sleep routines. So go ahead and find that episode last season if you don't know what I'm talking about. And as much as possible, anchor your habit. Pick one or two non-negotiable, your water, your supplements, sunlight, getting that is really important. Drinking enough water, right? That's is something I want you to think about when things get busy. It doesn't have to be a full-blown workout session like 30 minutes or even an hour. That's a lot to ask when you are busy. So 5-10 minutes of movement and drink lots of water, carry your water bottle, right? Protein, fiber, those are the kind of things that I want you to focus on so that you you don't have blood sugar crashes, your insulin levels are good, cortisol levels are good, which are really important for PCOS. And yeah, that's basically what I wanted to kind of talk about in this episode. And to wrap up, making sure that, oh, my slides, your body is always working with you. Right? Let's kind of making sure that you work with your body too. Things aren't going against you, right? Even if everything falls apart, these little habits that we talked about will keep you from feeling completely thrown off. Okay. So staying on track doesn't mean perfection. It just means being consistent as much as possible. It means focusing on the things that will make the biggest impacts, which are these little things that we talked about. And if you're struggling with ovulation, don't forget to grab my free spot in my free masterclass. Why am I not ovulating? I have the link in our podcast notes. And if you're watching this, or I mean, watching, yeah, if you're on YouTube, you're watching this, right? But if you're listening on this to this episode after April 9th of 2025, the replay is still available, so still grab it at the same link. All right, I will see you in the next episode.
Well, that's a wrap for today's episode of the Becoming Moms Method. I hope you found it super helpful, and most of all, that it gave you a little bit more clarity and confidence in your fertility journey. And if today's episode really resonated with you, and if you're nodding, thinking along, yes, this is exactly what I need help with, then I want to invite you to take the next step. Because here's the truth, right? You don't have to keep guessing, keep second guessing, or keep trying random things, hoping something will work, which is what I did for over 2 years. You deserve a plan that actually made for you. So that's exactly why I created your next step, called the Sticky Baby Formula. So you don't have to keep wondering what's missing or if you're doing the right thing. So with Sticky Baby Formula, I take a deep dive into your fertility journey, and I tell you exactly what's working, what's missing, what to do next, right? Think of it as me sitting down with you, breaking it all down, giving you clear, personalized roadmap so that you can stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress towards your baby today. If that sounds like something you need right now, go to this link to get started. So bit.ly again, bit.ly/myStickyBaby. Once you fill out this form, I'll personally go over it. I'll look at your information and everything that you submitted from this personalized form, and I'll send you a custom-made video with me recording my screen, sharing all of the tips. I will create a roadmap for you with all of my best recommendations according to what you provided, and you'll get this personalized video in 48 hours. So this is your chance to stop all the guesswork and start taking action with confidence. So if you're ready, head to bit.ly/myStickyBaby now, and I can't wait to personally walk through this with you. I'll give you that link again. It's B as in boy, I as in igloo, T as in Tom, dot, L as in Larry, Y as in yellow, /myStickyBaby. All right, friend, until next time, take care, stay hopeful, and know that I'm always cheering you on.